welcome to Teach It Like You Mean It, a podcast tailor-made for intermediate phase educators right here in South Africa. My name is Margaret Botman, and our goal here is to share practical ideas, strategies, and resources that can make us all better educators. Whether you're listening in on your way to school, during a school break, or while getting things done at home, this podcast is for you. Today, we're speaking with a remarkable educator whose teaching journey is both inspiring and deeply rooted in South Africa's rural education landscape. Zandelee Cloete is a dedicated intermediate phase teacher based in the seaside town of Jeffreys Bay. With a teaching degree from Nelson Mandela University and over 6 years of experience in the classroom, she currently works at a small multi-grade, multi-phase farm school in Eerste Rivier. With only 3 teachers responsible for all subjects across several grades, Zandelee's role is both demanding and incredibly impactful. From commuting an hour each day to adapting creativity with limited resources, Zandelee embodies the kind of innovation and commitment that keeps rural education alive and thriving. In today's episode, we'll unpack how she is thriving with less by diving into her experiences, challenges, and the victories, big and small, that have shaped her journey. Hi, Zandelee. How are you?
Hi, good thanks, and you?
I am good. So, to get started with the conversation, I'd like for you to tell us where the journey began for you.
I started my journey in education. I studied in Port Elizabeth, now better known as Kleberga.
Mhm.
6 years ago, I started there studying education at the Nelson Mandela Bay University. I gave the school in Kleberga for 3 years before we decided to move to this small surf town in Jeffreys Bay. And now
Mhm.
I'm currently at a multi-phase, multi-grade rural school in Eerste Rivier.
Has teaching always been something that you wanted to do?
Yes and no. When I got done with school, I didn't really know what I wanted to study. I felt like 18 was a bit too young for myself to decide what am I going to do for the rest of my life. So I'm like, let's
Yeah.
just do education. Let's see where the path takes me. And in the 4 years, I totally fell in love with it. So I, in the end, make the correct choice.
I have to agree with you on that one. Now, please tell me a little bit more about your current school setting, and basically what does a typical work day look like for you?
Sure. Our school is small with only 3 teachers responsible for grade 3, right through to grade 6. We serve
Mhm.
children from surrounding farms, and the school really functions as a central hub for the whole of the community there. A typical day starts very early for me. I leave home just
Mhm.
after 6 a.m. for the hour-long drive. Once I'm at school, I'm teaching multi-grades at once in one classroom, but I learn
Mm.
flexibility is key. So I can jump between lessons, give individual support where I can, and I can make every single minute count in each day.
How many learners would you say you have in your class?
On a good day, if everybody is there and the transport made it to school, I have 37.
Okay. So from what you're saying, then I'm gauging that there are a lot of challenges within that community, since you're pointing out that some days, I suppose, transport does not make it to the school.
There is a lot of challenges, not only with the transport, but I think the biggest
Mm.
challenge is balancing the diverse needs of the learners across the different grades in one space, in one classroom. I'm not only managing different ages, but it's also managing different academic levels, attention spans,
Yeah.
and sometimes even languages. So planning for the day can sometimes feel like one big giant puzzle. And the
Mm.
classroom management at the end of the day, I think, is the key to success to any educator. And after the 3 years, I think I have perfected classroom management in a multi-phase, multi-grade classroom.
Now, I'm interested to know when it comes to lesson planning, because I think this is one of the pain points for teachers planning out their lessons. It can take hours. So I can only imagine how you approach it with your multi grades. Please just take me through that process.
Yeah, this journey with this new school, it taught me to be incredibly resourceful. I've learned to
Mm.
stretch one single worksheet across 3 activities or even repurpose a poster into a entire week's lesson. I also rely
Mm.
heavily on creativity, so like songs or stories or physical activities, anything that engages the learner and makes the most of what we have in the classroom. The difficult thing is there's not a specific CAPS document or ATP document for multigrade classrooms. So teachers
Mhm.
that do multigrade or multi-phase, you're actually on your own. But the
Mm,
easy thing of CAPS is the intermediate phase, grade 4, 5, 6, and 7. Most of them have the same topics. It's just one step above,
yeah.
like the grades continue. So if, for example, we do the one day, we do maybe, let's say, addition, then grade 4 start with the basic addition, and then
Mm,
grade 5 will be one step above, grade 6, one step above. So it's just working one step, one step, one step, and making sure that everybody has something to do, because the grade fours will go quickly through a thing. And I need to make sure, okay, but they have another activity with them there so I can focus on grade 5, explain to them, make sure that they have an extra activity, and then move on
mhm.
to grade 6.
Now, what has surprised you most about teaching in such a small school community?
I think the strong sense of connection that the learners and the people of the community have with us at school. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't just, it feels like I don't just teach the child. I know all of their families, I know their backgrounds, I know everybody's story. So I think creates trust and accountability. And it just feels like a beautiful thing happening in a small rural place there in Eerste Rivier.
Which technical resources have been really beneficial in your classroom, and how are you integrating those resources?
Twinkle, I must say, has been a lifesaver for me. I use literally all of the worksheets, posters, and
Yeah.
even lesson plans, but
Mhm.
I do adapt them to suit my multigrade learning. So just combining
Okay.
two activities into one that fits both of my groups. So then I can use it very versatile.
With Twinkle, do you now print your own resources? Do you print at the school, or you have to print at home with your personal equipment?
Now, the school luckily does have a printer, so I usually do
Yeah.
everything there with limited Wi-Fi, but that's
Mhm.
I need to buy a lot of data. But the thing with Twinkle and how it helped me, it's massively reduced my prep time. So
Mhm.
instead of creating everything from scratch, I can
Yes.
quickly find high quality resources, just tweak them a bit to fit my multi-grade and multi-phase classroom. So that gives me more time to focus on the learners and gives myself time to breathe, while
Mm.
still having top quality resources for the learners.
I'm so glad that you actually touched on prep time, because initially when we started the conversation, I thought to myself, perhaps you don't even have prep time because of the amount of work that you have on your hands. So you do have prep time. I'm interested in knowing now then, when it comes to support amongst yourselves as a team, how does that look like?
Oh, we are so close there because we are three teachers and then we have a few
Yeah.
staff that works in the kitchen and the admin. So it almost feel like we're all
Yeah.
family. So we all share
No.
our lesson plans, we swap duties when we need it, and then definitely
Mm.
debrief over a cup of coffee. And when one of us is down, the other one lifts us up. It's really a big team
Mm.
effort and we really lean a lot on each other.
Oh, that sounds so amazing. So now, in terms of support or any additional resources, which ones would you say you wish rural schools like yours had more access to?
Definitely technology
Hmm.
and reliable internet and digital tools would open many learning opportunities for the learners. Also,
Hmm.
more learning, reading material, and maybe access to specialists like therapists or subject
Yeah.
advisors that will also make a huge difference.
So now I'm of the view that for our learners to succeed, there needs to be that collaboration from the learner, from the teacher, the learner, to the parents as well. And so I'm interested in knowing, with the community that you work within, how are the parents and the community itself engaging with the school?
That's also a very close knit relationship. The parents
Yeah.
at school help with school maintenance, events, and sometimes even transport if the taxi
Mm.
can't take certain learners to school. While not all the parents can help academically, I feel that the involvement in other ways is really heartfelt and valuable to our school.
Yeah. So, what advice do you then have for teachers who are entering the profession for the first time, and they may be assigned to a school in a rural area that has also multi grades? What advice would you give to those teachers?
Be flexible,
Mhm.
open minded, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because you won't always have the answers, and that's perfectly fine. You're still doing a great
Yeah.
job. It's also important to build strong relationships with both your learners and your colleagues. And you need to remember that even the smallest victories are huge.
Thank you so much for such great advice. Now, to close off our conversation, I'd like for you to share one teaching moment you'll never forget, whether it's funny, frustrating, or heartwarming. That will depend on you.
Yeah, I remember the first time I started there. Now we have another teacher that sometimes teaches other subjects in the classroom.
Mhm.
And it was, she gives grade two. And the one that I was there the morning and I taught them English for the grade twos. And it was
Yeah.
fun. And they went out for break. And a few periods went by and I went back to go and teach natural sciences. And the little
Mhm.
girl looks at me and she squints her eyes and I'm like, what's wrong now? She says, yo, you look a lot like my English teacher. I'm like, I am your English teacher.
Thank you so much, Zandelee, for joining us and sharing your story with such openness and heart. So, your dedication to your learners and your creative problem solving in the rural setting is both admirable and inspiring. I really hope that you can continue to share more of your story. I
Thank
think one of
you.
the all right. Thank you so much, Zandelee. I really hope that we can have you back here on the podcast in the future to discuss maybe a different topic. For now, thank you so much. And to our listeners, whether you're teaching in a bustling urban classroom or a quiet farm school, today's conversation is a reminder that meaningful learning can happen anywhere where there's passion, purpose, and the right tools in place. If you're looking for classroom ready resources, assessments, planning tools, or just a bit of inspiration, remember to visit www.twinkle.co.za. We help those who teach.